I have experienced psychological, emotional, and verbal abuse from family members, which has resulted in complex PTSD. When I was about 15 or 16, I started having gender dysphoria, which is a desire to be the opposite sex, to live as the opposite sex, to have opposite sex characteristics, and loathing of an insecurity around your body and actual self. I started identifying as gender queer when I was 16. I started to experience more and more self-hate. There also is a myth that if you don't transition and you have gender dysphoria, that you're going to kill yourself. And I was suicidal for a long time. So I was fast-tracked to be able to access medicalization when I really should have been gatekept, and I was not a suitable person to be medicalized. So when I was 19, I went to an informed consent clinic, which basically means you just walk in and you say you're trans and you want cross-sex hormones, and they gave me a free prescription of testosterone that day, which is an experimental substance. There was no doctor overseeing me, there was nothing. And I was suicidal and 19, and then I had a double mastectomy when I was 20. It's obviously a huge regret of mine. At the time, I felt like I had no other option. And it was absolutely horrible. It was absolutely abysmal. It was really torturous to have this fantasy of escaping yourself and putting all this energy into this fantasy that's never gonna happen, and being so upset over that, versus doing really, really painful work to try and accept yourself, as I eventually did. Gender dysphoria can overlap with many other conditions. There's many different treatment modalities for these symptoms besides medicalization. So you do not have to medicalize. You do not have to identify as transgender.